Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Return Policy. Today I'm doing a mini review on the Nyko Power Pak for the Nintendo Switch. So I came across this guy just browsing online, and since I like the other Nyko products in recent reviews, I thought I would give this one a try. It's a power pack, it's an external battery. When I got it, I hope it was just kind of a no-brainer and it would just work exactly the way I was hoping it would as an external battery pack. Well, that was my assumption. And so after some decent testing, at least a good week's worth of trying this sucker out, I have my own conclusions about this battery pack from Nyko. As you can already see from the box itself, everything is pretty much self-explanatory. There's inside your regular external battery pack, then you have a USB to USB-C connector cable inside, and that's about it, along with some documentation, some instructions. But hopefully as a battery pack, you wouldn't have to use these. At least I thought I didn't have to. But yeah, pretty much that's what you get inside the box. And so let's go ahead and test this guy out. Taking a look at the Nyko battery pack itself is pretty cool. Not too heavy. But right from the start, it has a very decent build quality to it. It has the button on the back here, so you can tell from the LEDs the strength of the battery pack of the external battery itself, and not the external, or not the Nintendo Switch. It has its own kickstand, because once you put in the external battery pack, it covers up the existing kickstand. And primarily the main way you put this on your Nintendo Switch are these two small latches, here and here. So putting the Nyko Power Pak on is pretty self-explanatory. You're supposed to push both of the latches and lift the upper lid of the power pack until it separates from the external battery. And then from there, you put the switch on the power pack and you put back the top portion, and it just clicks right there in place. Alright, so once everything is on and in place, let me go ahead and take off these guys here. So once you have everything in place, it's pretty much what it looks like. Not too obtrusive, and the weight doesn't get to you until probably extended sessions, and it definitely got to me. But essentially that's what it looks like right there. So the button here actually activates not only as an indicator of how much battery life the power pack has, but as a means of turning on the battery pack. And reading from the instructions like I had to, you have to hold this down if you want to turn off the battery pack. If you hold it down for 2 seconds, you see that, and that actually turns down the battery pack and stops it from charging. So that was the idea, that was what it's supposed to do. But over time, while I was using it, and I know I tried it without the battery pack, and so I ran the Nintendo Switch battery down, popped in the Nyko Power Pak, and waited for it to charge while it was on. And so what I started to notice was the Power Pack would charge, and you would see it by little lightning or the green indicator it's charging. And then when I would revisit the Switch, it would stop charging. And so the percentages did not really go up. Say it went from 74% to 77%, and then it's not charging anymore. I don't see the lightning bolt or the green light. And so I ended up having to try and turn it back on just for it to kick back in and charge. And I thought, that's kind of weird if I have to keep on turning it on or if it goes to sleep on itself. So that's why I ended up having to read the kind of documentation to find out, hey, is this I have to make sure this thing charges each time, or turn it on to charge each time? And no, it's supposed to just charge on its own until it's fully charged. And once that's fully charged the Switch, then the Nyko Power Pak goes to sleep. Well, in my case, the Nintendo Switch was not fully charged, and it still went to sleep anyway. And so I still wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt, and I kept it on here for the better part of a week, and letting it charge or letting the battery use as I'm just kind of normally playing it without docked. And the more that I used it, I found out that it was charging and then uncharging, then charging, then uncharging, until finally the battery pack itself ran out of juice. And then I'll just use the provided USB-C cable. See if you can plug it into right there and plug it in and let that charge. You can either use the cable they provided or the Nintendo Switch cables. Either works fine. And so fast forward to just a few days ago when I finally unplugged it, and yeah, it was charging and uncharging, charging and uncharging. And when I unplugged it to say, you know what, I'm just gonna finish this up and then plug back in my own cable to the Switch or even to the dock, I started to notice that the Switch wasn't charging whenever I'd plug in USB-C cable or even to the dock. And naturally I kind of freaked out thinking, oh, what the heck, these cables work just fine. I charged my cell phone with it. Why isn't it being recognized on the Nintendo Switch? And so it might have just been coincidence or just bad luck. But I thought it was the Nyko Power Pak, whatever it was trying to do, charging the Switch, was having a negative effect on the Switch itself. Like it was constantly turning it on, turning it off, turning it on, turning it off. And when I tried to just plug in my own charger, it didn't want to recognize it. And so naturally, I shut it down, turned the Switch back on, and everything was back to normal. But that was a hell of a scare that the Power Pack gave me, or a hell of a scare that I got. And I was just trying to use a external battery pack. All in all, I think the Nyko battery pack does serve its function, or at least what it's supposed to do. It serves its function. It didn't for me. It charged and uncharged, and I couldn't really get a solid full battery charge out of this. I don't know if I was doing something wrong. I mean, you plug it in, you let it go, and when its battery has depleted, you plug it in and charge that too. And so with that mini scare that I had of it not recognizing the cables, the normal charging cables, that kind of put me away from like, okay, I'm not going to plug this guy in, and just out of sheer paranoia, haven't plugged it in since, until today. And a quick thing about the kickstand, it's no better than the kickstand that comes with the Nintendo Switch. It feels just as kind of flimsy and probably more prone to popping out than probably even the one that came with the Switch. So kind of no points for that one there. So my personal experience with this one, you may have a different opinion or experience as well, maybe a lot more favorable than what I've had. I want to say for the Nyko Power Pack, it is a definite return it for me. I bought it thinking, oh, should just be pretty cool power pack or battery pack to use. Charge it, let it go. Even for games that uses a lot of battery, such as Zelda or even Mario plus Rabbids uses quite a bit of battery pack if you're using the cartridge. But this is a return it. Alright everybody, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully this has been somewhat informative on a seemingly normal purchase if you're in the market for a battery pack. But I do not recommend this guy, or at least to return it in my own terms. Thanks again for watching this video. If you thought this was informative, please go ahead and hit that like button. If it was not informative and you already have a much better branded battery pack, go ahead and hit that dislike button. That's cool too. And if you wanted to stick around for that semi-long run, I still plan on making a heck of a lot more of these kind of review videos. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right. Now to take this guy off before anything else happens to my my connector.